Welcome back to the channel. Are you over 50 and you have no money to retire, or you are worried that you don't have enough money to retire? You are not alone. Surprisingly, according to a recent study conducted by Northwestern Mutual, 1 in 3 Americans has less than $5,000 in retirement savings. 15% of Americans have $0 saved for retirement. During tough times, nearly 3 in 10 Americans dip into their retirement savings according to Transamerica. And 46% of Americans don't know how much money they need for retirement. For nearly half of Americans, the number one fear is that they are not saving enough for retirement. This is the one thing Americans fear the most, and this is the fact that they don't have enough money to retire. A survey from financial institution Primerica found that 43% of Americans are afraid of running out of money during retirement, while only 25% said their biggest fear is death. Retirement is something everyone will face at some point. Back in the day, you could spend most of your career at one company and count on a pension or count on receiving pension once you retire. But today, pensions and other defined benefit plans have become old-fashioned. In fact, the number of companies offering pensions dwindle every day. Nowadays, thanks to science, lifespans are longer than ever. While this is a good thing, it poses a serious problem. There's been so much concern on the future of the Social Security program. Basically, how long the Social Security program will last is the biggest question these days. Many experts say you should have at least 8 times your annual salary saved by the time you hit 65. So if you haven't been able to put away any significant retirement savings and you are getting close to retirement, just know that you can get back on track and boost your retirement savings. So what are your options? How can you do this? All you need to do is pay attention to the 3 quick steps I'll be talking about in this video. Before we dive in, give this video a thumbs up to help other people find it quicker. It is completely free of charge to hit the like button. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. Consider subscribing now to join this awesome community for the latest helpful tips for your financial wellness. Okay, let's dive in. Here are the 3 areas you should focus on starting today. Number 1, cut down your expenses. Rule of thumb is to spend less than you make. You don't want your month to be longer than your money. Identify your monthly expenses. This will help you know where your money is going, as well as the potential holes in your pockets that you need to patch up. Really, a lot of people catch themselves spending and they don't even know what they're spending their money on. So as you get closer to retirement, your goal is to patch up all the holes. It's like a basket, right? When you pour water into it, you don't want all the leaks and you don't want the water seeping away. So your income and your expenses are something you need to keep a close watch on. When it comes down to your monthly expenses, you have the fixed and the variable expenses. Your fixed costs could be things like your rent payment, your mortgage payment if you own your home, and if you're renting, that's your rent, right? And then also things like your health insurance, your life insurance, and your car payments. These are your fixed costs, right? Then again, you have your variable expenses. Your variable expenses are expenses, your monthly expenses that are always moving. So they never stay the same from month to month. And this could be things like your pet care for those of you who have pets, right? And also your utility bills. So your light bills, your water bills, this could fluctuate based on the month and the usage, right? So these are your variable expenses. Your groceries, the amount of food you eat, can also be a variable expense depending on how you manage that. And that's what you want to keep an eye on. It is really important to reduce your living costs. So if you are retiring with little or no money, for example, if you live in an area where a 3-bedroom house costs like $1,200 and then a 2-bedroom house costs $1,000, you might want to consider moving to the 2-bedroom house if you have the extra bedroom that you are not using in your current 3-bedroom house. Or you could move to a different part of town where the 3-bedroom costs less than the $1,200 that you are paying for your current 3-bedroom house. This is just an instance, a way to reduce your living expenses. Cutting down your living expenses is like playing defense in football or any other sports out there. So basically, you want to be defending your money. You want to stand guard or stand in the way of anything that comes to take your money from you. You have to protect your money from the people or things that will try to steal your money away from you. Number 2, get a side hustle to increase your income. A good way to increase your income is by picking a side hustle. On this channel, I've talked about several side hustles. The goal of your side hustle is for you to treat your side hustle income as more money that you need for your retirement. If your main job doesn't allow you to save enough money, the side hustle gives you a buffer that you can now take and add that into your retirement funds. Alternatively, you may have to consider a part-time job or a second job, or maybe just switching to another job that pays you more. But before you switch jobs, you may have to ask your current job for a raise. Also, if you are employed and your employer offers a match, be sure to contribute at least up to the full match that your employer is offering you. But if your employer doesn't give you a match, you should save at least 10% towards your retirement. And if you are over 50 years and you have no retirement savings, you may have to get comfortable with the idea of working longer than you expected. Spending a few extra years in the workforce will make it possible for you to save more and compound your money some more. Number 3, last but not the least, pay down your debt. Another way to reduce your living expenses in retirement is to pay off your outstanding debt. The amount of money you owe could prevent you from saving and living a full life in retirement. So you have 2 types of debt. You have the good debt and the bad debt. So the good debt is any debt that puts money in your pocket, while the bad debt is any debt that takes away money from your pocket. For instance, here's an example of a good debt. Let's say you own a rental property and you purchase the property for $100,000 and you put down $20,000 in down payment, and now you are financing $80,000. So the bank lends you $80,000 to own this property. So here's the deal, right? You rent the property out for $1,000 a month. So the renter pays you $1,000 a month, and your cost to the bank, your principal, interest, and taxes, which you pay the bank every month, is $600 a month. Now, between the $1,000 that you get from rent and the $600 you pay the bank, you have $400 difference. That $400 is your margin. And maybe after paying taxes on that $400 with some other expenses, you may be taking home like $200 a month. That is a good debt. That's a debt that puts money in your pocket. Even though you owe the bank $80,000, the $80,000 doesn't take money away from you. Instead, it adds in more money to you. Now, here's an example of a bad debt. A bad debt is the one that takes money from you, like your car payment. So let's say you own a new car. You just went to the dealership and you bought a brand new car, or maybe a used car, whatever the deal is. You just have a car that you're making payments on. That's a bad debt. The reason why that's a bad debt is every month you have to take some cash and pay the dealership. You're paying for the car every month, and the car is depreciating in value every day you own it. So that's an example of a bad debt. Your credit card debt is also a bad debt. A good practice is to pay down the debt with the highest interest rate first. If you owe any debt and you have debt collectors on your back just reaching out to you to pay them some money, be sure to check out the video on the secret to getting debt collectors off your back on this channel. I have that video on this channel. Check it out right here. Ultimately, if you are concerned about retiring with no money, you have options. It may not be the simple task or the simplest task, but it can be done. You just need to put the key things we've discussed in this video into work. And if you've gained some insight from this video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share this video with others to help empower them for their financial wellness. And subscribe now to avoid missing out on the latest videos. Thank you for watching.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.